You always have, okay, I texted Bates. I asked him, I said, hey, I want to bust Will's balls about something. Like, give me something. He's like, bro, he is obsessed with Jake Paul. Okay? You really?
No, I'm not. I'm not obsessed with Jake Paul, dude.
Do you think Jake Paul, what he's doing is pretty impressive?
What he's doing is impressive. At times I'm a hater, and at times I'm like, it is good shit that the Paul brothers have found a way to just kind of make life their own, because that's what they've done. And I've wanted him to fall every step of the way. I can admit that as a man, but seeing him do the stuff for the UFC and kind of be for the fighters and stuff, you turn over a new leaf for him, and then he does something to where he's coming at somebody's wife or girlfriend and being the most disrespectful motherfucker out there. And then you're just like, I want to see this dude go down. He needs his ass whooped.
Yes.
But it hasn't happened, dude. I don't know what
about a Mike Chandler, Jake Paul fight?
Oh, would love that, dude. Mike Chandler's, they're such polar opposite human beings from what I've seen of Jake Paul. Like, Mike is as good as they come, man. And the greatest perspective, he's one of those dudes that have he'll have his own philosophy, I feel like, one day, where he'll have a book and he's just got wisdom and insight that just gives you a different perspective on looking at negative shit that goes on. I'm a huge fan of Mike Chandler, dude.
And he'd beat up Jake Paul, you think?
I think he's taking Jake Paul.
We can Don King that on the bus.
Yeah, we can get that going. We can gas like.
Can I smoke on the bus?
Absolutely.
He broke my brother going to the Chiefs earlier this year, and Schefter was in a ball. He was all in knots.
Oh,
he got cucked. We cucked him. Go ahead.
I want your brother to come on the bus too.
That'd be tight. Maybe we could both come on the bus. What's the weight limit on the bus?
Well, we'll fit as many as we
can.
The
boy weighs 335, bro.
He's a big boy, man. I saw him after the Chiefs game, and I was like, hey, man, you got to come on the bus. And he's just such a huge human being. I'm just like, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
He looks like a WWE wrestler.
He is.
But what I was going to say is whenever I do retire, we should smoke on the bus and have a podcast.
Let's do it. We got to shut the doors and do what we used to do here. We don't do that anymore here. I don't want to. Macon gets a lot of secondhand smoke.
Hey, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
The pod?
Yeah.
What's been your take on the AB stuff?
Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't need to go anywhere. I think it's really hard to draw the line, because we are cognizant of the mental health stuff, but the player's not saying he's unwell. And the player's kind of projecting, this is who I am, and there's a pattern of behavior with the player. So I have a hard time finding that point where it goes from your personality into wellness. And so until the player tells me that he's not well or he's seeking help, I have to assume that he's kind of an asshole. At the very least, this is asshole-ish behavior. So Ryan Clark's talked about it for a long time. People called him a hater. The same people who sided with AB over Mayock, are the same people now, give him a break. He's not well. How about this is kind of who AB is, and this is who he wants to be. AB's not taking Sunday back. Let's let it play out and be empathetic if it's something worse than just being an asshole.
I honestly, I'm not just blowing smoke. That's probably the best take I've heard. It's like we were on the pod talking about it, and you do a much better job articulating thoughts and perspectives a little bit better than I do. I can be a little more reactive. So I was kind of just talking about it as if I'm a teammate on that team,
you're pissed.
Because you're right. I think, you're pissed, bro. You're you might as well turn around to the bench and flip everybody off on your way out, because you're disrespecting everybody's work and everybody that cares about this game. And they're trying to win right now.
Yeah.
And you're right, man. I think Ryan Clark let us in a long time ago when he was on the Steelers, and everybody reacted, calling him a hater. AB's even went on the shop with LeBron James and talked about Shannon Sharp and stuff he said. But it's been a pattern over and over. This guy's continued to show us who he is on every team. And he's gotten 9 lives in this league. And I know 99% of the league would die for a situation like he's had, the talent he's had, the opportunities he's had.
So good. So competitive. Yeah, Ryan Clark even said that, as he was kind of saying, he quit on himself. I thought that was the best take, if I'm supposed to believe that Ryan kind of knows exactly what's been going on. AB's quit on a lot of people, but AB is the ultimate competitor, so it felt like quitting on AB Sunday. And that was, the saddest part about it. If you sign up to play with AB, if you sign AB, it's like owning a Komodo dragon, which is probably not a great metaphor, but eventually when the fucking thing eats you, you're not like, what happened? You signed AB. Like, you know that this was a 70% likelihood. But for AB, I just felt like it was so self-destructive, and I'm worried that that's the last time you see him in a uniform. So it's sad because he is a Hall of Fame talent, and it probably pisses his teammates off, as you said.
Yeah, man. And you're right too. Like, until he kind of shows that, you know, he wants to get well, or he's saying like, hey, I'm not unwell and I'm just, you know, a super gremlin and all the branding stuff he wants to do. The dude dropped the song within the next couple hours. He was at a basketball game the next day, like trying to, no matter what he's doing, he's trying to show that he's above everything that everybody's saying. And it doesn't matter. He doesn't care what everybody's saying because he's going to do him. And so with that, it's just like, yeah, man, I think the dude is just like he's very self-absorbed, and somebody who doesn't, I feel like, can get some more self-awareness in his life.
I also,
people he surrounds himself with.
Yeah, you got to have people around you that are like, yo, you're wrong, dude. Which I often worry that anybody who's really good at something, including like, hey, fuck, I could get really good at this, like where we're really successful. I need this guy, you know, like, because he'll tell me when I'm being an asshole or when I'm wrong. Like, I don't know if every player, every celebrity, every, like, you know, you name it, any vocation. I mean, even business people that get too much power, too much success, like, you have to have people around you that can be like, hey man, you're wrong here. And I'm not positive that he has somebody around him like that, because obviously, and if he does, he's kind of discarded that information. It's a sad deal. But, you know, success is not only intoxicating, but to be in the NFL, to be truly great, you have to protect your ego so much that sometimes it goes wrong. And yes. I think, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you and I have talked about this, like, expectations. You know, I've been paid a lot. I was drafted high. Like, there are times where I came across as an asshole because I was so protective of my confidence, you know, or so protective of, like, my brand. And I think sometimes when AB's as good as he is, it just kind of snowballs and you become this isolated human being. You know what I mean? If that makes sense a little bit, you become isolated because you start to be paranoid. You start to be like, well, he's not in my corner. This person, if they tell me I'm wrong, like, it's me against the world. And I feel like that's just snowballed with him as things went awry in Pittsburgh. And by the way, I don't believe Vontaze Burfict started this whole thing. Like, I get so irritated by that.
They're like, he hasn't been the same since that hit.
I've heard stories. So,
but I think you're right. I think ultimately everyone has their insecurities inside them, and the dude is so quick to be triggered and to be pissed off at small things. From what I've heard when he was on the Raiders, from teammates here, and just kind of seeing his behavior just in the league, like, he's very quick triggered. And with that, you're obviously identifying with something that you're trying, like you said, that you're trying to protect.
Yeah, you're protecting.
And until you actually sit down and unravel it and dig on it a little bit and get to know yourself, you're never going to fully be able to get to the root of why you're reacting the way that you're reacting. And until then, you'll never be able to forgive that part of yourself. And you're just going to surround yourself with people who are yes men. And you're just going to be mad when things don't go your way. Because I do think, from the way Tom Brady spoke and the way some of his teammates have spoke, it seems like guys are around him and they're aware of the AB that we're sitting here talking about, to where, Chris, if AB came in our locker room and we were on offense and we were able to imprint on him in some way or be a teammate to him in some way, like, we would consciously be trying to make steps to surround ourselves with him.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the way Tom spoke on having compassion and everything else, Tom is for sure one of those guys, and he has teammates that you can see they care about him, but they're just like, you can't help somebody that's not wanting to be helped type of situation. Yeah. So I feel like he's had those resources and those friends that try to kind of be around him and teammates, but he's just neglected it. And ultimately, you know, he's doing his thing now as a super gremlin.